Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Jake
Hey guys.
for our second co-op review ever. We did Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now we're doing Animal Crossing New Horizons. We're going to talk all about this game, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Real quick, we are doing a giveaway. We're so close. We're giving away a copy of Risk Arena 2 right in time for the newest update coming out Tuesday. We are like 20 subs short, so if you love us, sub us. And if you found this helpful, please throw us a like. Let us know how you're feeling about Animal Crossing New Horizons. So Jake, what Animal Crossing have you played in the past?
The only Animal Crossing I played in the past was the GameCube version.
All right, and I played the GameCube version and Wild Worlds on the DS. Didn't like the handheld Animal Crossing experience, so I did not play New Leaf as a result. But here we are, like 2 decades later, playing the newest one, right?
Back on console.
Back on console. What are your initial impressions of Animal Crossing?
I'm happy it came back to console. I'm very much enjoying this game. And I don't know if it's because I've been stuck inside, but I've played so much of it. It's a little embarrassing.
Yeah, it's like crack. I mean, I
Yeah.
like wasn't really planning on picking this up day one. But I kind of asked my girlfriend because we're both stuck in the house with this thing. I was like, you think, I don't know, like, are you into it? Like, because if you're into it, then I guess it'll be worth picking up. And like Nintendo games never drop in price, so you might as well just get it on day one, especially Animal Crossing. And she was like, yeah, okay, so we got it, and I like fell full in like on day one.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, me too.
So can is it possible to explain like what is fun about Animal Crossing?
I don't know, because so I've played a lot more of the Harvest Moon Stardew Valley games. I think you have too. Would you
Yeah.
say that's fair? I don't really I don't know what it is that's so addictive about Animal Crossing and the Harvest Moon games, but something is just so addictive about it.
But this has even it's weird because this is like much more, even though Harvest Moon and Stardew they're casual, this is even like more casual than those games.
Yeah,
And
this
it's
is
like
lighter.
when you describe what you do and you're like, well, you shake trees and you hit trees and you hit rocks and you collect bugs, it's like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. But it's I think it's like the way that they like, I call it Animal Crossing brain, where like you're like, okay, I need to shake this tree to get sticks. Why do I need to get sticks? So that I can build a fishing rod. Why do I need a fishing rod? So that I can catch this fish. Why do I need to catch this fish? So I can bring it to the museum. It's like when this like almost like zen like eternal state of it tasks to do is like laid before you, that it's just like really cool.
Yeah, it's super peaceful to play, especially since the island is pretty small. It's like big enough, but small enough that you kind of know where everything is. You know exactly what you want to hit. Kind of always know what you want to do, and if you don't, you can ask Tom Nook. And he'll tell you exactly what you can do, and it's just super easy, super peaceful, a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, so should we highlight some of the like the major changes? There's a lot of changes, but the major changes in
Yeah, let's do
this.
that.
All right. So there's island life. You're living on an island. It's your island. Well, you might be sharing it. But that's the change. You're like living on an island, and there's one island per console. So if you have multiple accounts, multiple people playing on one console, you will be inhabiting the same space. There's this new concept of Nook Miles, where you can perform tasks. They're kind of like achievements. They're usually much simpler than like you can usually go through them pretty easily. But those can be used as a way to pay your mortgage, as a way to upgrade, buy new hairstyles, things like that. And yeah, I'd say that those are like the huge, bigger things that have changed. So
Yeah.
what are some of the things that we like about this game?
So let's start with island sharing. I like the island concept. I think it works well. I was definitely skeptical of the island sharing, just because it was something new. And it seems kind of like a weird design decision to make one console share an island. Seems a little arbitrary to me. But it works out really well. I'm sharing it with one other person, and we haven't had any issues. We set everything up. We're generally playing either like in the same room or close enough where if I ever need to be like, hey, I want to put this here. Is that cool? It's easy to do that. Um, I don't I don't know if having one console share an island really adds anything when I think about it. If both of us had our own islands, I think we probably would be equally as happy, maybe. But it works out well. I'm glad they did it, uh, and I haven't run into any issues with it.
So I have run into a lot of issues, and I warned you about some of them, which is why I think your flow is a bit better.
Yes, yeah, that's
But
true.
and I think we will circle back to island sharing when we start talking about things that we don't like so much. But I will say it is a unique idea for multiplayer, right? Like everyone sharing the same island. It's kind of crazy to me to think that there could be 8 players sharing one of these islands. Like that's like just a lot of
Yeah.
people on one place. And it is fun, and it does make you think about this shared space a bit differently in a way that like hasn't been done in any game really ever. And it is fun because when I'm sitting on the couch with the person I'm sharing the island with, we can kind of like have discussions about this shared space, which is it's just different.
Yeah, and one of the things that I actually do really like about it is a lot of times the other person I'm playing with will play during the day and I will play in the evenings. And I get to like hear about what they did and what they saw on the island. And then when I start playing, I can see that and go like see the consequences essentially of like what buildings they built, what like gardens or trees or whatever they planted. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, and since we're kind of like blending into talking about people sharing our islands, I do. This is also something that will come up in what we don't like. I do like the multiplayer, both the same time multiplayer, like not split screen, but cooperative multiplayer, I guess, where you can have inhabitants of your island play the game with you. It's super basic, but it works well enough so that if if I'm sitting next to the person and they're running around and we notice like, oh, the item of the day to sell at the shop is a rocking chair, and I have a ton of wood for that and they need some of the wood, I can just hop in about a minute, and we can switch to me being the leader, and I can just drop the wood on the ground for them and then hop out. That's kind of cool. And the online multiplayer, it's also still kind of basic, but it has been fun for me to just like send letters to people. Once you join someone's island, you can start sending them like mail and stuff, and it has been fun just like sending silly letters and things. It's basic, but it works well.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to experience the multiplayer. I've tried a couple times, but we've run into issues. I can touch on that more once we move into our next sections.
We
But
don't like.
yeah,
Well, okay, so the last thing for what we this is big. I don't know why this is big, but those Nook miles, I call them Nookies. Uh, they are unbelievably addictive.
they're
To
great.
yeah, it's really weird why. Basically, there's like achievement like style ones, but then there's also uh daily, well, it's not daily, there's kind of an endless stream of simple ones you can do for small amounts of miles, and that could just be chopping wood or talking to people or watering your flowers, and you could just kind of get yourself caught in a loop of just doing those indefinitely.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of genius on their part because some of at least the GameCube version, you kind of get to a point where it's like, all right, I've done a lot and I'm kind of slowing down. Feels like I'm kind of grinding bills at this point. But the Nook Miles, the like kind of task level ones, give you something to do, and it's just like they cycle them pretty consistently. So you're maybe collecting 5 wood, then collecting 5 fish, and then collecting 5 bugs, and then building some stuff, and then selling some things, and you go back and they cycle it really well. So it always keeps you busy and always has something for you to do if you don't have something that you want to work on.
Yeah, it's like an easy kind of guiding hand for an open-ended game like this where you can just kind of do nothing. Like people who struggle with that type of game, like people who struggle with Minecraft because they, need the guidance and the direction. This is just an easy way to get a reward for doing like basic things.
Yes, and the one of the favorite things for me for spending Nook miles on is the Nook tickets.
Yeah.
So you can travel to Mystery Island. That's probably my favorite addition to this game is being able to go to just like a random deserted or maybe not deserted island for a short amount of time.
And you can, in those you never see again, so you can just destroy them.
Right, which is a lot of fun. You can just chop all the trees and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you particularly like?
I think we quickly mentioned DIY as an addition. I really like that they added that in. It comes with tools breaking, which I'm not a fan of, but overall, I like the addition of DIY as just another thing that you get to do. Another one of those like guiding hands per se of, oh my axe just broke. Now I have to go turn on my Animal Crossing brain, get my 5 sticks, get 1 stone, get some iron, upgrade everything. I like the addition of that.
And I was worried about DIY. I was like, oh, this is getting to be like survive or like a survival early access game, but it's like not bad at all. It's very simple and easy and nothing's too onerous and there's not a whole lot of resources, so it's pretty easy to track everything.
Yeah.
All right, well then I guess we should shift into things that we don't like. And I'm just gonna preface this personally. We might talk a lot about this section, but I really like the game, and I think this is more like it's just like I love the game so much that I don't want to. I'm just trying to be constructive with it, like,
Yeah.
but because there are a lot. I'm like looking at our list, and there's like a lot of things, but I do really like the game, and I think these are realistically drops in a big bucket.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of these are like, I wish they didn't do that, but it's not enough to make me not like the game.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about that slow start? Because I know that was a problem that you had.
Yeah, so I will preface this by saying we are in the US, so a lot of us are stuck at home, quarantined due to the virus, and have a ton of time on our hands. So one of the downsides of having Animal Crossing being tied to real days is a lot of the story and the progression in the first 7 days is tied to waiting full days for things to happen. And that really slows down the beginning of the game, which normally would be fine. I would hop in and play for like an hour or two, but since I'm home all day, I'm like, I'm ready to sink like 6 hours to Animal Crossing, and Daddy Nintendo's like, no, you can't do that. You gotta wait.
Yeah, I'd say the first day is particularly grueling, and it's
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like unevenly paced. Assuming you want to do the daily thing, there are some days when it will take you zero time to do, but then there's another, like one example is I can't remember the exact reason why you need 30 iron, but there's one day where you need 30 iron, and that is like a mad dash of like
Yeah.
collecting resources. So
It's an insane amount. That's the
yeah,
day you have to build the store.
yeah, so you're either doing almost nothing or the fire's like under your ass the whole time. And it's like very weird that they did it that way.
Yeah, I'll agree that that one specific example was kind of a huge break for the game because everything else is very chill, and then all of a sudden you need 30 iron, which is a lot. You get maybe 1 to 2 iron per rock, and you get 1 rock per day
And there's
added to
six
your
rocks
islands.
per island.
Right. And if
But
you're
you,
like me and you didn't know that like you can break rocks and they don't come back, you may have broken all of your rocks on day one like I did, and then you have no iron. So it was awful trying to get the 30 iron.
yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah, so it's like weird, and it does start slow. Like I agree, and I remember the person I was playing with, I had like they were really going at it, like they were really like playing a lot, like 4 hours plus, and then they would hit this like dead end, and they'd be like, "Wait, that's it?" And they kind of thought that like that was how the whole game was going to end up being, and it wasn't, you know? Like that was just
Right.
ultimately a blip.
Yeah, and some of the things are a little. The iron one was really bad in my opinion, but there's times where it's like when you build the museum and when you have to renovate residential services, which I'm going through right now, they shut down for a full day, which is it's just annoying because it's like, well, now I got all this stuff that I can't donate and I can't leave it in my inventory. I could go throw it in storage, and in the case of residential services, like I want to go visit an island, but I can't get any tickets, so like they kind of just lock you out of stuff for a full day, and I wish they had accounted for that when they were doing these things and had a way for us to kind of get some essential things done even while renovations were going on the island.
Yeah. Uh, well, I think this is, since we're talking about the flow, especially the first 7 days, because I think that's like the core progression part of the game, assuming you're being efficient. Uh, let's talk about island sharing again, like the bad side of the island sharing.
Yeah.
Um, I made a whole video about this, and at least Jake was prepared, but I definitely wasn't. Where, especially in this time, like where some people are not working right now. If it's like you and your roommate or you and your significant other, and one of you's working and the other one isn't, one of you has a lot more time than the other, and player one, the primary, the person who starts the game and names the island is the only person who can progress the island. Like they're the only person who can kick off the museum. They're the only person who can donate interior furniture for when residents move in. They're the only person who can give Tom required materials. And that's like unbelievably frustrating.
Yes. And
Especially because
thank
they don't
God.
tell you that.
Yeah, and thank God you told me that before I started.
Right, because
So,
like yeah, it's my understanding that like that's pretty much your Switch, and the person who plays on your island just kind of like plays. Sometimes will play a game on there, so you would think
right.
that you would play it first.
Right, and I definitely would have, but you mentioned it and then I ended up watching your video which kind of explains everything, and I was like, okay, I my significant other's playing in the mornings, so she's at home, and I'm still at work, and I play in the evenings. So it makes a lot more sense for her to start, even though she really hasn't played the Switch at all. That way, she can progress things during the day while I'm gone.
And like yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I made the mistake where I'm working right now, and the person on my island isn't. So like, I will wake up in the morning before work, talk to Tom Nook to get like the daily thing, and I'll like take a screenshot of the things I need or tell them what we need, and then I'll hop off so that all day they can grind the materials, and then I have to re-log in to send them in. It's just like really weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that.
But you
But
do all have your own mortgage and stuff, which is kind of nice, and they do get more abilities over time.
yeah, yeah.
And the only other thing I can think of is having 8 players. I have not done that, but having 8 players on that island would get really crowded, especially early game when your start space is so restricted.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so I was actually talking to some people at work. Surprisingly, a lot of my friends at work also play this, and we're all like, middle-aged men, young-aged men. But the tools and tools breaking is a huge annoyance, and this was actually something I was talking about with people at work. Is they did this with Zelda, and they brought it into Animal Crossing as well. That your tools have durability and they'll break after a while, and you have to replace them. And that was super annoying in Zelda. It's pretty annoying in Animal Crossing, but I get it a lot more because you are constantly crafting things. But it's a minor annoyance. Like, uh, I hate have to like I hate having to go and find sticks and then stones and then craft a basic tool and then upgrade it again and then get like 50 hits out of it and have to do it again. It's just a pain in the butt to have to do. But on the flip side of that, it is a good pacer, like you said, Chris. Like you can kind of just like you craft this tool and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go cut down trees until this breaks, and then I'm gonna go do something else. It's like a good pacer as well. So it's a minor thing, but also works a little bit. And then this one was kind of a weird one. We were talking before we started about this fishing. I originally liked it quite a bit, but as I've been doing it more, I've noticed that the fish are not as sensitive to where your line is as I would have liked. And I don't know if this is something, I don't know if this is a result of how insensitive and imprecise the Switch Joy-Cons are, but I have a hard time actually throwing the fishing line out. I'm constantly throwing it just off to the left, off to the right, right behind the fish. And then I get it just right, and the fish turns around and goes another direction. And then I'm constantly like chasing the exact spot that the game wants me to throw the fishing line, and it gets super frustrating. I generally that's when I stop playing, is I rage quit because I've been trying to catch a fish for like 10 minutes and it keeps swimming away from me.
Okay, so we're good to give our final thoughts now, and I'm just going to wrap up by saying this is a super fun, super chill game that really fits the mood right now if you are locked up. I would say for me, easily top 10 games on the Switch. I'm curious to see how much staying power it has. If this lasts as as awesome as this feeling is, if this continues and persists for months, easily a game of the year contender and possibly even cracking into the top 5 Switch games. I would 100% say buy this game.
Yeah, I would agree that I'm a big fan of this game. I know I just said some things that I wasn't a fan of, but again, they're not deal breakers. They're just annoying, and I wish they were different. But overall, I really enjoyed the game. I've been sinking a ton of time into it. If I'm thinking back to other Nintendo games, I don't know if I would necessarily say this is a top game for me. I enjoy it a lot, but I would not. I definitely recommend it. It's worth the $60, but you kind of want to know what you're getting into. If you are the kind of person that's looking for a chill game experience, you've played Animal Crossing, this is the best iteration of Animal Crossing for sure. But there are some issues and it can be slow. So if you're not ready for a slow, chill experience, then maybe this isn't the game for you.
All right, and that is our Animal Crossing review. If you found this helpful, please throw us a like. Otherwise, we will catch you guys next time.